Good morning. It's Friday, August 5th, and happy Friday morning to you all. I love TGIF and Film Friday. Thank you for joining us on Up to the Minute. I'm your guest co-host, Randee Ramsey of Southwest Alternate Media Project, also HCC adjunct professor. With me this morning, Benjamin Escobar, Benji, HCCTV videographer and a filmmaking student who's going to tell everyone how to find us.
Hi, everybody. Hope everybody's having a good day. We are live on the Houston Community District Facebook page, not Houston Community College, but Houston Community College District. And we're also on YouTube. You can also find us on Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and we also have our own TV channel where you can catch us on the rebroadcast from noon, 5, and 10 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Thanks. Good morning, Benji. I am super excited. So there's some favorites back on the show today. Today we have Sue Moraska. Did I say that right, Sue?
Yeah.
I am a name murderer. Absolutely. She is the program director at HCC Vast Academy, which is, I think, a fantastic thing. What I love seeing people for their abilities and their different abilities as opposed to looking at it as a disability. But we're going to get back to you in just a minute. Before we talk to you, Peter Vonder Haar is back from Houston Film Press, critic, author, favorite Film Friday guest, because the Emmys were announced a few weeks ago, and we never talked about them at all. And I said, Todd, this is not going to do. We just really have to have it. So welcome back to the show, Pete. We're happy to have you back. And so much to talk about, so many projects on the small screen and the big screen. So I want to get right in. If there's any shows, that have already won in the Emmys just based on the number of nods, Succession, I think, is a big winner. And Ted Lasso, followed by White Lotus. Did you watch Ted Lasso, Pete?
I have watched Ted Lasso. Actually rewatched several of the episodes. I think my wife and I are big fans of the Christmas episode. And yeah, I think that's very deserving for Ted Lasso. I think it's kind of, at least for us during the pandemic, as a kind of a feel good watch. It was great. But we really enjoyed, this kind of the atmosphere for that one. So that, I think that was deservedly recognized. Succession, as you mentioned, has gotten critically lauded and, has been recognized for that as well. But there were a few, I think, pretty significant misses that the Academy, and that always happens with award shows, but they were pretty significant, I think, this time around.
Well, Yellowstone, right? I mean, Reservation Dogs, Yellowstone.
Yellowstone is, one of those kind of, it's almost like a Game of Thrones kind of a water cooler show what people talk about all the time, like what's shocking happened this season. Who's getting killed, who might get killed. And I don't know if there's a disconnect between sort of the public viewing and kind of how the Academy recognizes it. But yeah, that was Yellowstone not getting a sniff was a big surprise. And Reservation was also, one of those critically acclaimed, another one of those, I don't know if the viewership was obviously not the same as with Yellowstone, but
no,
it was very, very recognized and a lot of people loved it. And for it not to get anything is seen as a slap in the.
Well, I think, I think Mandy Moore should have gotten something. Look, you would think what you want about This Is Us. They're really good at pulling tears out of you in terms of, they're exactly what good entertainment makers are. They're really, really talented manipulators and they make you feel things. I'm sorry, This Is Us can be as schmaltzy as you want, but I've had a lot of ugly cries to that show that I didn't want to have, and still I know what they're doing and I'm still there like, it's so sad.
It is weird that it's as emotionally manipulative as it is and as widely followed as it is. And I'm not a This Is Us guy. My wife is a watcher of it. And I swear to God, every time I walk in on that show, my first thing I ask is, are they crying again?
Everybody's crying all the time. That's what they do.
Yeah, like you said, Mandy Moore was the emotional, especially this season, was the emotional backbone of that entire show. Kind of her journey, where she ended up, and it was very strange that wasn't even looked at.
How does Reese Witherspoon get it for the morning show? and Mandy Moore doesn't. Because Reese Witherspoon's, look, I loved the morning show. I thought it was a great watch. It was a lot of fun. But that was the least demanding role ever.
It was one of those kind of inertial things, kind of like when you would see Julia Louis-Dreyfus get nominated every year, or Kelsey Grammer get nominated every year, even when they weren't. It was just kind of something like, oh, Reese Witherspoon, we know she's doing a good job. We'll just slot her in as well. And it's to the detriment, I think, of other performances that, last year. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I know. Well, it's the Emmys. It's always like that, I guess. So let's move on. What about Batgirl? I hear you have thoughts.
Well, it's really unprecedented for a studio. This is a movie that was in the can, and that they had spent anywhere from, depending on who you ask, $75 to $100 million developing it. They'd finished it. The performances were done. The effects were pretty much done. They were just doing test screenings to kind of do what they do at the end and tweak things. And the official story from Warner Brothers was that the test screenings were so disastrous that they just couldn't possibly take a chance on it, which, if you watched other recent DC superhero movies, you have to go, it's worse than Wonder Woman 1984.
Than most of them.
Justice League, than most of the recent.
Justice League was a stinker.
Exactly. So you have to wonder if there's something else at play here. And I guess part of the consideration is that the new WB chairman, David Zaslav, who's come in and kind of negotiated this merger between Warner Brothers and Discovery Plus. His official line is they want to focus now. They don't want to ape what Marvel's doing. They don't want to do sort of simultaneously streaming and small releases. They want to do nothing but big, Hollywood blockbuster kind of releases, which that's fine. But to just completely write off the amount of money that you put into Batgirl already, even if you're not going to recoup that entirely, you can recoup something you seem like on a big screen, and tie that in with the fact that The Flash is still coming out, allegedly, even though star Ezra Miller, again, just recently has been tagged with grooming underage kids, this weird crime spree he's been going through in Hawaii. Like, it doesn't, there's something else.
It's bizarre, right? Nope. There's something. Okay, so it's not just me. There's something stinks in Rome is the feeling. Okay. What about Prey?
Prey, it's another one of those merger situations, I think. Prey, for you, if you don't know, is basically the fifth movie in the Predator franchise. It started way back in 1987 with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Again, this is a movie that was made kind of part 20th Century Fox. Disney acquired Fox. Part of Fox's previous agreement with HBO Max says that anything that gets released theatrically from them has to have a simultaneous release on HBO Max. Well, Disney, apparently, because they didn't want to, help their competition, is releasing it straight to Hulu, which is their baby. And it's, in my opinion, it's a huge mistake. I watched this.
It's crazy.
Reviewed it. It's, in my opinion, if maybe the best Predator movie since the Arnold one. And it's shot, the way it was shot, director Dan Trachtenberg, who did 10 Cloverfield Lane, which is, in my opinion, a very underrated horror movie. He obviously shot it for the big screen. You've got these magnificent landscapes, this sort of pre-colonial American, idyll, the West, the frontier.
Yeah.
The war is great. It's great. And it seems like it's a real shame that it's just, I say being dumped on Hulu. Obviously it's great if you've got Hulu and you can watch it right away from the comfort of your home. But this was really something that should have been a big screen experience. And I'm kind of
this sort of brings me to it. See, there's this thing. Everybody who's been watching the show knows for the last few months, I've been like, yay, we're back in theaters, go back to the theaters. Because there are some things that are meant to be seen in a theater. And I think that this is that, I constantly am on this with my students, is this small screen, big screen experience. I really do feel like somehow, maybe it's me, Pete, maybe I'm just crazy, but aren't we getting a little bit lost in some things are meant to be a big screen experience. And I can't help but think that Prey was going to be one of those things that just so much better in that immersive experience.
Sure. And it's in keeping. The last Predator movie was released in August. This is kind of one of those late summer, could be a blockbuster. We don't know. People have, maybe kind of lagged out on watching, going to see the movies. But at the same time, when you've got these studios that are still trying to juggle, what can we have succeed at the box office? What we're seeing now the tent poles that are still hitting, the big numbers are your Marvel movies, are your superhero movies, or things like Top Gun, which is a legacy, bringing Tom Cruise after 30 years. I mean, it's still very hit and miss what's gonna make the money. And even something like Prey, which is a relatively low budget as these things go, not that elaborate in terms of effects or in terms of sets or green screen or that kind of thing. More and more, I'm afraid you're going to see studios trying to cut their losses with things like this and just say, you know what, we don't want to risk the embarrassment of the box office being not what we expect. We're just going to dump it straight to streaming. And I think that's a shame, honestly. So
it is a shame. I think it's a shame. I think it's also a disservice to the audience. But I mean, I don't know. I've been enjoying being back.
Have something like this that's obviously meant. I mean, this isn't something like one of these dark Netflix shows or one of these Disney Plus shows that they crank out 3 of them a year. This is something that was clearly meant to be seen in the largest screen possible with a great sound system. And for those of us who don't have big screens and great sound systems at home, it is. So yeah, it's almost remarkable to me that something like, if I can go back to an earlier favorite of mine this year, Everything Everywhere All at Once, the Yo film, fantastic to see that on the big screen.
So good.
Really something that, like, if you had seen that on a TV, you wouldn't have gotten half out of it what you got when you saw it. And I feel the same way with Prey and with a lot of other things that are getting dumped to streaming. So
that is exactly it. Look, Pete, you're so incisive and so good. That's exactly the point. It's like you would not have gotten the same experience from that in your living room. And then there are other things that are really small that you're going to get something out of in your living room that you're never going to get on that big screen. It's just not intimate enough,
Yeah. And to go back to the studio debate, between Marvel and between WB, I mean, those Disney shows, say what you want about Disney and kind of the commodification of the Metroplex or the theater, the Cineplex, and how everything's starting to look alike. They know these shows, they've kind of, stuff like Captain America or Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Miss Marvel and things are not stuff that would probably have played as big on the big screen. So they've got their channel, they've got their streaming outlet to put those smaller efforts on there. And I just don't think WB has figured out, or Warner Brothers has figured out how to do that yet. They've been playing catch up on them with the superhero movies now for a decade.
Yeah.
Now they're playing catch up between they're gonna roll this. You're gonna put Magnolia on HBO Max, and they're gonna roll all that content into that. Like, what are you guys doing? Like, I don't.
Well, you know what, Peter? They didn't put us in charge, but if they did, they might be in better shape. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
I said, no, it's always so much fun to talk to you. And I just love, I know that we get a little crazy. Nathan in the control room is a little bit like, move on. We've got to wrap. Move on.
I know.
Anyway, thank you. No, my apologies. I love having you on. Thank you so much. And I'll see you again very soon. Please. Absolutely. Thanks, Peter. Peter Vonder Haar, Houston Press film critic. Yay. Benji. I'm going to throw it to you. You have Sue Moraska over there from the program director of HCC Vast Academy. Yeah, welcome back. Sue.
Hi, Sue. How are you doing today?
Thank you for having me. I'm such a fan of this up to the minute, and of course, a big fan of HCCTV. So thank you for having me back on. I'm excited to be here today.
Always a pleasure to have you back. We love to talk about VAST and its programs and especially its graduates. So let's get started. So you've had a really busy summer with some of the STEM camps. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, absolutely. We had phenomenal some STEM camps this summer. This is our 5th year now, hosting these wonderful cutting edge technology STEM camps that are funded by the Texas Workforce Commission. And it's a grant that we have from them. And then this is a collaborative partnership with our amazing digital, Center of Excellence in Digital Information Technology and our Vast Academy. And this year we added our VR XR lab with Ruben Duran at Central College. So we were able to do 5 camps. And there were 10 students in each camp, so we had 50 students. And these are students ages 14 to 22 with disabilities. And it's very unique, and they're getting this cutting edge technology. They're not only getting introduced to it, but they're engaging. It's challenging. They're learning about STEM careers. And we also added the 3D makerspace this time as well. So it's very, very exciting. Our first camp was a virtual camp, and we did IT Linux, Amazon Cloud Computing, and they earned an industry-specific badge in Amazon Cloud Computing. And then our second camp was at the Central College in our wonderful XR VR lab with Ruben Duran and our own vast instructor, Dr. Ren Bump. And they hosted the immersive. I heard you talking about these movies, with the immersive metaverse. I mean, they got to create their own space, metaverse space, 3D. They even got introduced to drones. And there was a drone pilot there, and they actually went out on campus and were able to fly that drone in the vicinity of the college. It was so exciting to see. And then our next, we had 2 virtual reality camps at our West Houston Institute in July, and those were also exciting. And then we had Apple Swift coding, and then they got to experience the 3D makerspace, which they actually created. They spent 2 afternoons there, and they got to create their own, I think it was a keychain, and they created their own design for their T-shirts, and they were so proud of those T-shirts. And I think I might even have sent a photo with those T-shirts on. But yeah, it was just so exciting what they were able to learn. And every one of these camps, it's only for 1 week, and they come all day. And on Friday, we have a celebration. And that is the most exciting part, because the parents come and administrators can be there. And we congratulate the students. They get their certificate. We have a ceremony where we give them their certificate, and they get to share what they've learned. They show us their projects. And that is, to me, the most exciting part, to see what they've learned. And many of these students want to go on now to HCC, and they want to explore and maybe possibly go into some of these technology programs. So we're excited about the camps.
Well, let me just tell you, you're running a very amazing program. I had the honor to be at the West Houston Institute about, I want to say 2-3 weeks ago. I was out there shooting a package for you, which is already out on our YouTube channel. And let me tell you, they were learning Apple Swift coding like there's no tomorrow. These guys were just at it, which I was kind of interested myself in getting an iPad and start learning how to do some coding there. So let me just say that's pretty amazing program you have going on. And not only do you do the summer camps, but you also do like regular curriculums. Can you tell us a little about the Vast Occupational Skills Certificate for college and career readiness?
Sure. Thank you. And thank you. Yes. And thank you for HCCTV for putting that package together. It was a wonderful video showing some of our camps and highlighting the students. And I think we even had a parent who did a testimonial and a couple of student testimonials. So that was exciting. Thank you so much. But yes, this is the STEM camp, of course, is a partnership with Vast Academy and Digital Technology Center of Excellence. But, throughout the year, of course, we have our Vast Academy, which is now in our 32nd year of being at HCC. We were one of the first in the nation to have a higher ed program for students with intellectual and developmental disabilities. And so we are part of this national and now global movement to have more programs. And I'm so proud of our Houston Community College for being one of the first in the nation to make that commitment. And our administration has made that commitment through all these years. And of course, our students have proven every time that they can do so much more than we even expected that they can do with the success. Our program is an occupational skills, career and college readiness program, and they get that 2-year occupational skills certificate. And all of the courses are their workforce, but they're soft skills, marketable skills, like communication skills for the workplace, professionalism in the workplace. We work on computer literacy and financial literacy and career exploration, explore different careers. And so when they finish our program, we want to help transition them into other programs at HCC, hopefully. We've had a few that have gone on to University of St. Thomas. We've got, I think, 3 or 4 that are there right now. But we also, most of our students, of course, will go right on to HCC right after they finish VAST. And we've had students that have earned certificates and even associate degrees in areas like culinary, pastry chef. We've had child development, business technology. Those are just some of them. And now because of these STEM camps, our students are being introduced. And because of the virtual reality partnership that we have, a lot of our students now are being introduced to technology careers. And many of them want to go into gaming and those types of technologies. So it's really exciting. But these are a program for a special learning community. And we have 3 college locations. We have the Central College. That was our first. Then we expanded to Spring Branch, Northwest Spring Branch campus. Then we expanded to Stafford, Southwest College, Stafford. And now we have an online cohort. So we basically have the 3 in-person campuses and then the online cohort.
Awesome. And do we still have openings for the fall?
Oh, yes. Thank you. As a matter of fact, we do have room. We definitely have room in our online cohort. So you don't have to even live in Houston. You can live in another city in Texas. You can even live out of state and still attend our online cohort. That was one of the reasons why we wanted to do that. So students could attend no matter where they live. But we still have some spaces that some of our in-person campuses as well. We have a few slots open for fall. Our classes will start September 6th and 7th. So we start a little bit later than the regular term. So we have a little time. We still have time. It's not too late to still get students in if they're interested. Our program is for students 18 to 25 that have an intellectual or developmental disability who want to go to college. And we're a great transition to help them. We're now in the division of college readiness. And that's what we are. We're college readiness and career readiness. And this is just a great place for these folks to start because they're going to get those extra supports that they need above and beyond ADA accommodations. And so we're excited, that we still have these programs and that we're continuing to grow and expand. And now we're introducing this wonderful, we're going to be doing some transfer VR industry specific virtual reality simulations this year with all of our students so they can do some career exploring and get to actually try out some simulations in different industry specific careers. So we're excited about that whole VR, taking it to another level for our students.
Oh, thank you so much, Sue. And I hope you'll come back and talk to us specifically about that program because that sounds very exciting.
I would love to bring our faculty, get our faculty to come out as well. We have amazing faculty and team at Vast Academy.
Perfect. Thank you, Sue Moraska, Program Director of HCC Vast Academy. We're going to have your info in the post after the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for being here.
Bye-bye.
Benji, we have a few announcements as per usual. I know it's always surprising. Yeah. So our Path to Profession still available. If you're looking for real-world experience in your genre of study, check out the opportunity. The link is in the post after the show.
Awesome. And we also have a convocation registration open. This is for everybody who's part of HCC. HCC has opened its registration to its fall 2022 convocation, Harnessing Our Entrepreneurial Capacity, which will offer 2 sessions in Stafford with bus transportation provided from 3 campuses to get you there. Also, the first 500 to register will receive a limited copy of Carol S. Dweck's Mindset book. This will take place on Friday, August 19th at the Stafford Center. We'll have 2 sessions, a 10 a.m. one and a 2 p.m. one. Buses will be offered at the following locations at HCC Central, HCC Northeast, and HCC Northwest. And for any information, we'll have that on our link after the show.
I know, it's in the link after the show, everybody. Everything we're talking about, it's in there. Dr. Donna Davis, HCC's Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Officer, has announced the podcast schedule for 2022-2023, and they're going to begin September 1st, 11:30 a.m. to noon on Thursdays, the first Thursdays, and some of the early topics are going to include cross-cultural effects of assimilation versus acculturation, which is a really complicated and good topic. I'm super excited to tune into that. Hate, crimes, and bias, critical race theory, ending stereotypes and prejudice. So we'll have a link for that after the show. I hope that you can tune in. I sure plan to.
And listen here, you can make a difference. Invest in Houston's future by supporting HCC Foundation scholarships. There are countless examples of students who have graduated and moved on to brighter futures because of such generous donations from faculty and staff. So we'll have that link after the show. See how you can make a difference.
Absolutely. And get a fast track to a career in public works. HCC has a new fast track certification, entry level 20-hour basic waterworks operation course, can be completed in 1 to 3 years with a starting salary of more than $56,000. And the training is approved by the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality and prepares students for their Class D licensing exam. So we're going to have more information on that in the link after the show, but I'm always excited for a new program. And fall registration is ongoing. We have a lot of different ways that you can learn here at HCC, online, anytime, online on a schedule. We do a hybrid where it's some lecture, some online. We do good old-fashioned in-person, my personal favorite, and then hybrid lab, which is laboratory studio courses. I'm teaching those this semester. So for all the registration information, that go to hccs.edu/apply, and that link is in the stream after the show. And next week, we'll welcome the return of Dr. Donna Davis, one of the women leaders at HCC and the leaders in the American Association of Women in Community Colleges chapter at HCC. Also, Mental Health Monday. You don't want to miss that. I live for Mental Health Monday. And Natalia Norland, our HCC expert on interpreting and translating, will join us on Tuesday. So lots going on next week. Look forward to seeing you there. Meanwhile, have a great weekend. Get out and enjoy some sun.